Greg Ehrenberg from OddsShopper here to bring you more MLB best bets of the day. We are breaking down the Wednesday action, games spread out throughout the day, afternoon games, night games. I have a little bit of action on all of them, so going to be covering all of that in a second. But first, do me a favor, like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel and leave a comment below. Let me know whatever it is that you guys are betting today. And as per usual, if any of those bets wins, I pick out one of them and I give out a free subscription to our premium betting Discord. So with that in mind, our winner from yesterday was JP Kusnerick. He had Alex Bregman for over 2 bases and also had him for 1 or more RBIs. Well, Bregman homered yesterday, so he took care of all of that in one swing of the bat. Also, was overall a really good day for Bregman. Had multiple hits, the home run. So overall, good night for Bregman and also a good night for our guy JP here. You get 1 free week of our premium betting Discord. Message me on Twitter so I can get you set up with that. Also, quick recap of my bets for yesterday, which overall went 1 and 2. I wasn't totally dissatisfied with it. I know overall we'd like to win more often than we lose. And I had one really terrible bet yesterday. That was the Orioles score under 1.5 runs in the first 5 innings. About as quickly as a bet could possibly lose, because Dylan Cease, relative to his standards, he sucked yesterday. And there was a 3-run homer hit by Ryan Mountcastle in the first inning. So pretty quickly that bet was dead. I think without too much doubt, that was a bad bet. Corey Kluber under 6.5 strikeouts. That was one that on the other side won pretty easily. Kluber ended up working 6 innings, had 3 strikeouts. He never really threatened to go over on his strikeout prop. That was a really high one at 6.5. And then I had one other long shot bet that while it didn't win, I didn't feel terrible about it in hindsight. I had Vladimir Guerrero Jr. plus 450 to homer. And while he didn't homer, he did have a pair of doubles. And then also the Blue Jays ended up putting up 9 runs against the Red Sox yesterday. So all things considered, if I knew some of that information going in, like Vlad's going to have multiple hits, he's going to have multiple extra base hits, the Blue Jays are going to score close to 10 runs against Boston, I still feel pretty good about the Vlad plus 450. It's just hard to win those long odds props consistently. So overall, 1 and 2 is a losing day for yesterday's slate. And for today, I've got other bets I like, and I'm about to break them down right now. For the first bet of the day, I am looking at Logan Webb over 4.5 strikeouts. This is a pretty low total when you consider the matchup. He's going up against the Detroit Tigers. And, there's been 2 teams that have been really high strikeout upside matchups for opposing pitchers that we've generally liked to target this season. One of them, it has been pitchers, right-hand pitchers going up against the Detroit Tigers. The other one was the Los Angeles Angels, teams going up against the Los Angeles Angels when they were missing Mike Trout. And that's why I find this prop to be so curious. Logan Webb, we have him projected for a little bit over 5 strikeouts today. And you look at his numbers this year, he's been really solid. 3.08 ERA, 3.68 expected ERA, 3.29 FIP. His strikeout rate is down from last year, only at 19.6%. But we have to consider the matchup here against the Detroit Tigers and think this is a pretty good spot for Logan Webb to rack up more strikeouts than he normally would. The Tigers have the worst WRC plus against right-hand pitching in all of baseball. And they also have one of the highest strikeout rates of any team in baseball. So that lines up pretty well for Logan Webb on paper. And, he's coming off a start where he didn't look particularly good. He was going up against the Arizona Diamondbacks. He gave up 5 runs in 4 2/3 innings, didn't generate any strikeouts. And I think that is the main reason that we're seeing this prop set so low. But only 2 starts ago, he pitched 8 shutout innings against the Pirates with 9 strikeouts. The start before that against the A's, he pitched 7 innings. He had 5 strikeouts. And that's what we need him to get to in this start, is to 5 strikeouts, because the prop is set so low at 4.5. And something else to consider with Logan Webb, while yes, it is true, his strikeouts are down for the season. If you look at some of his results for the year, they're still solid, and he has a track record of being a better strikeout pitcher than that. So something I do like to rely on is looking at some of the futures projections from Zips and Steamer. And something that does stand out to me is that Zips has Logan Webb projected as a 23% K rate guy for the rest of the year. So the 19.6%, probably a little bit lower than what it should be just based on what his swinging strike rate is this year. Not that he's some guy who's all of a sudden going to become, Shane McClanahan or Dylan Cease or Robbie Ray, any like the higher strikeout guys in baseball. But I think it should be higher than a 19.7% K rate. And this is a get right spot. It's the Detroit Tigers. It's one of the worst teams we've ever seen in the history of baseball against right-hand pitching. So starting off the bets, over 4.5 strikeouts for Logan Webb today. Today's show is sponsored by DK Sportsbook. And if you guys want a way to get $200 for free, DK Sportsbook has the offer for you, because all you have to do is sign up at DK Sportsbook using the link in the description box below. You place $5 on any NFL preseason game, and they're going to give you $200 that's it. Don't pass up this chance for free money because it's not always the easiest thing to consistently win sports bets, but it is pretty easy to collect free money. That is what DK Sportsbook is giving away. We've also got preseason NFL pick shows on the channel. Lofty's breaking those down whenever they come. So we've got ways that you could also look at some of the best bets for NFL preseason if that interests you. But either way, this is $200 for free. It doesn't even matter if that $5 bet wins or loses because DK Sportsbook is giving you $200. Just make sure that you click on the link in the description box below before you sign up, and that'll guarantee you get that $200 when you're first signing up and placing that $5 bet in an NFL preseason game. The next bet I'm looking at, it's over 3.5 runs for the Baltimore Orioles. Hopefully, I'm on the right side of it today. It would be, it would be fairly funny if yesterday I'm fading the Orioles and they end up going way over the run total, and then today I'm on the Orioles and they end up going the under. But with that said, Lucas Giolito is on the mound for the White Sox today, and he's a pitcher who coming into the year, he was expected to be in the Cy Young mix, and it's just been massively disappointing. His underlying numbers are much better than his actual numbers. So he's a 5.34 ERA, a 4.2 expected ERA, a 4.13 FIP. But part of the reason is because the underlying stats just assume that Lucas Giolito has been unlucky with home runs. And I don't really know that's been the case. I know a 15% home run to fly ball rate is fairly high, but for his career, he's a 14.5% home run to fly ball rate. And then also, if you look at every other year of his career, it's been over 13%. So some of these numbers, it's just data. And they're looking at a pitcher like Giolito and saying, oh, he's getting unlucky, shouldn't be giving up this many homers. But that's been a case from throughout his career. He's always been a pitcher that gives up higher than average home run per fly ball. So with that in mind, I don't really think this is going to change anytime soon. And Giolito's had some brutally bad outings as of late. His last start against the Houston Astros, 3 innings, 7 runs. Start before that, in a really easy matchup against the Detroit Tigers, 7 innings, 4 runs. And that's not to say that giving up 4 runs is the end of the world. But against the Tigers, it's a pretty crappy result. And then also, the total for the Orioles today is only 3.5, and that is over the course of a 9-inning game. So I'm really more than anything looking to fade Lucas Giolito here. He's somebody who I've picked on a lot for DFS over the last couple of months as well. The strikeouts have been there for him this season. It is one thing he's still generating, but he's giving up a lot of contact, a lot of hard contact. He's also walking a lot of hitters. So it's problematic for me when I look at Lucas Giolito as a pitcher who just for whatever reason has lost his way. I think we could point back to the change in some of the sticky substance rules that baseball implemented last year, because that is when the drop-off first started to happen for Giolito. But whatever it might be, maybe he's injured. Maybe that's a potential reason because his velocity is down this year. 93 miles per hour is his average fastball velocity. He was over 94 in each of the last 3 years. But something isn't quite right with Giolito, so I'm looking to fade him today over 3.5 runs for the Baltimore Orioles. For my final bet of the day, I'm looking at under 5.5 strikeouts for Kyle Wright. And he's a pitcher I really like. He's had a tremendous breakout season. He's been great for the Braves. He's really bolstered the rotation when I don't think they were expecting all that much from him coming into the season. But one thing that has happened with Kyle Wright is despite him consistently pitching well over the course of the year, his strikeout rate has dipped in the second half of the season, which I think could be attributed to maybe a little bit of fatigue. We've never seen him pitch this many innings in the season. We've never seen him be this important of a piece for a good team. And, maybe it's the stress of the season, a little bit of fatigue that's starting to wear on him. Because look at his strikeout rate as the season has gone on. The first month of the season, March and April, 37% K rate. Just really good stuff. And then going forward, 22% in May, 22.2% in June, and then that dipped to 18.8% in July, and now 21% in August. So numbers are down a little bit as far as strikeouts go in the second half of the season and during the summer months. And then also, we haven't seen really those massive high strikeout games for Kyle Wright, which, kind of makes sense when you think that his overall strikeout rate is down. So for today, he has to have 6 or more strikeouts to hit the over on his strikeout prop, and that is a mark that he's fallen short of in 3 of his last 4 starts. 5 strikeouts against the Diamondbacks, 4 against the Mets, 5 against the Boston Red Sox. And then also, we've seen, I think this also could be attributed to the fatigue I was talking about before, the Braves are not quite as willing to let him work as deep into games as of late. So he has not pitched 7 complete innings in any of his last 5 starts, which was something he was doing fairly regularly in the first couple months of the season. So I think the Braves are trying to be cautious with a young pitcher. They're also at a spot where they're kind of locked into a playoff spot, not 100%, but it's fairly likely. And it's kind of something not exactly the same as what I talked about with Julio Urias and the Dodgers the other day, but Urias came out after 84 pitches and only 6 innings the other day in a start, and it was one of the reasons I was on the under for his strikeouts. And I think we could start to see stuff like that with Kyle Wright or Max Fried or other Braves pitchers moving forward. Just try to be a little bit cautious, make sure these guys are fully 100% good to go for the postseason. And then also something we saw yesterday with Justin Verlander. He had a no-hitter going through 6 innings, was at 91 pitches. They took him out of the game. Teams are now playing more so for the long haul and not focusing too much on individual regular season games. I think that's going to impact some pitcher strikeout props we get down to the stretch of the season. So final bet of the day, under 5.5 strikeouts for Kyle Wright. So to recap my bets for the Wednesday slate, I've got Logan Webb over 4.5 strikeouts, the Baltimore Orioles for over 3.5 runs, and then finally Kyle Wright for under 5.5 strikeouts. Those are my favorite bets of the day. Don't forget to leave a comment below in the comment section. Let me know what you guys are betting for the slate. Also, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and good luck today, everybody.